There are people, of course, who are disturbed by this incident and are inconsolable this time, having to be held up. Out of an abundance of respect for the family, if that is the family. A gurney is being brought out of the mortician's van just ahead to cart and carry the victim away from this two-story white apartment complex just ahead. Again, if anyone is just joining us, we are at the scene of the country's latest murder here on Miami Street, where police reported that a woman was shot dead sometime before 6:30 p.m. Details on this incident still remain sketchy at this time, notwithstanding an abundance of social media reports that we will seek to confirm the veracity of with police when we have a chance to. But at this time, details still remain unclear as to the circumstances or motive of this latest murder, and also as to whether the suspect is known, being sought after, or still alive. Of course, it's a difficult scene here on Miami Street. One woman is inconsolable at this time, and family members are trying to pick her up off the ground as she weeps amid this unfortunate and tragic death here in the country. I want to advise caution as to what is discerned as facts at this time. We're still trying to ascertain the facts. We have yet to speak with authorities as to the circumstances surrounding this latest homicide and what may be the motive behind this. Those details still remain unclear despite a litany of social media reporting. Those piercing screams breaking the ear of residents and what may be family in the area tell a story of itself as to the pain and grief surrounding this latest homicide here on Miami Street. Again, our deepest condolences go out to the family members or families of the victim who lost her life tonight. Again, if you're just joining us, details on this latest murder here on Miami Street remain unclear, but police reported around about 6:30 p.m. that a woman was shot and lost her life here on Miami Street. The motive and circumstances surrounding this latest homicide remain unclear at this time. We're still awaiting to speak to officials to get some idea as to what led to this very sad, unfortunate, and tragic shooting tonight. Let me get, if I can. We're expected to speak to Assistant Superintendent Audley Peters in just a matter of moments. Bear with us. If you have an opportunity to turn your volumes up, as the audio might be a bit low.
We can't flip him in. Or there's two them in. I understand. I is right for living. Oh, sorry. What is that? Nothing, I guess.
Expected to speak to Assistant Superintendent Audley Peters in just a moment to try and ascertain some of the Superintendent Audley Peters to get some details as to this latest homicide here on Miami Street. I understand a woman was shot and killed. Bear with us and turn up your volume in case the audio is a bit low.
Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Hold on. Yeah, keep it. All right, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, good night. I'm accompanied by Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Ken Taylor, along with Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, both responsibilities for Criminal Investigations Department. Tonight we're here on a scene which is now classified as a homicide and an attempted suicide. Police were called to Miami Street shortly before 6 p.m. They received reports of a shooting incident. On the arrival of the first responding officers, they were directed to a single-story structure, and on entering this residence, they were led to a southwestern bedroom where they discovered the body of a male and female lying on the floor of that bedroom. Examination of the female revealed that she was unresponsive and the male was suffering from gunshot wounds. Emergency medical services visited the scene, and following their assessment, the female was classified as transported to the hospital where he is presently being treated. Also transported to the hospital was a 1-month-old infant. Her condition is not known at this time. Our preliminary investigations reveal that the male and female are partners in a relationship, and shortly before the incident occurred, the male came to the residence and entered the room, locked the door behind him. Other members who were present at home heard gunshots, and on gaining entry into the residence, they found the male and female on the ground. The evidence indicates at this time that the male would have entered that residence, produced that firearm, and shot the female, and then turned the firearm on himself. The criminal investigations will be continuing investigations into this matter.
Where were the injuries on the male?
I'm not at liberty to share that information with the public at the moment. We have to correlate all our evidence before we make any statements that are pertinent to the investigation.
Why was the 1-month-old taken to the hospital?
From all indication, it's a possibility that the child might have been injured, but nonetheless, in an abundance of caution, we decided to send the child to the hospital.
Is it known if the male was living at this residence as well?
From all indication, the male was not living at the residence at the time of the incident.
And can you give us, I guess, an estimated age of the couple?
Both victims are in their early 20s.
Can you say who else was home at the time and who found the victims?
Other members of the family were home. Investigations will not allow us to divulge that information.
Of course, when we see domestic incidents like this, there's always a cautionary tale. And
Most definitely that there is a cautionary tale in that all of us, when entering into a relationship, we have to be discerning as to the person we decide to enter relationships with. And in entering relationships, we also have to do that, exercise ourselves and use best practices to ensure that our relationships are wholesome and affords us mutual benefits. And when you desire to leave a relationship, use the necessary tactics that would encourage you to exit that relationship without causing injury to both parties. And there are all kind of other precautions that you can take in order to ensure that you have successful relationships. Seek out counselors, read books that would assist you in developing emotionally, developing mentally, exercising money management skills, or negating all of the instances that would cause relationships to go sour, and practice the best practices that would cause you to have a healthy, productive relationship that could be emulated by others.
I know this is preliminary, but is there any indication as to what may be the motive for the shooting?
At the moment, we're not able to say what the motives is. There are all kind of innuendos and scenarios going out in the media. The officers have to conduct themselves based on evidence, and the evidence will come from all the nexus of the persons who are involved. After communicating with them, checking their history, the history of the relationship, are they known to the police in terms of making complaints before we can make a final determination. That's why I said the evidence suggests a certain pattern, and until we prove otherwise, we're going to have to follow the evidence in this instance and in all other instances where we're investigating matters of this nature.
The last question for me is the male known to police?
The male himself has rights that will be protected by the office at the moment.
Thank you, Superintendent.
Very well. Thank you for your time as well.
Again, you've heard from Superintendent Peters, who confirmed that a male who's in a relationship involved with a woman who was shot, both believed to be in their 20s, walked inside her bedroom with other family members at home, her infant, a 1-year-old infant, with her, shot her, and shot himself in an attempted suicide, killing her. The man is currently in hospital. The infant, whose injuries are unknown at this time and condition is unknown at this time, is also in hospital as a precaution. The motive for the shooting still remains unclear. Police are combing the area and seeking to ascertain details that will help them resolve this very tragic, sad, and unfortunate death. From the home just in front, I believe you can hear what is believed to be a family member screaming, "Why?" Please look to our platforms for more details as we learn more on this incident and continue to follow up on all angles that we can. I want to thank you for joining us, although the circumstances are very unfortunate. Be safe, continue to have a good night. I'm Royson Jones with Eyewitness News.
Opportunity.